Okay, so after reading this book a little bit, Half Broke Horses, they had this situation where a big winter storm came in, and they needed to take care of the ranch as best they could. But there were signs that they could tell a big winter storm was coming. Now, they didn't give a year. This happened in Arizona, but this man, Jim, could tell but the birds were migrating south earlier. The squirrels gathered more nuts than usual, and their tails were unusually full. The acorns were larger, and the bark on the cottonwoods was thicker. So everything, the theme is things were getting thicker and bigger. And the holes of the pecan nuts were bigger. And this apparently to him was a sign that it was going to be a hard winter. Okay, in Phoenix and in January. And that's what happens. And so the author, she goes over what they would have done on the ranch during this hard winter. And they would have to obviously get firewood. They'd bring the horses into the shack, I'm guessing. Okay, put hay out onto the range, make a windbreak to protect the cattle from the cold winds. Yeah, to make more walls to just stop the wind. That makes sense. Tarps, and use anything they can. Tarps, coats, rocks. So they would, yeah, they'd pretty much shelter the animals as much as they could. That'd be the test of the rancher in these extreme conditions is where you really test the true nature of a rancher. All right, so you want to keep the animals moving by improving their blood circulation. Okay, and then don't, and because the barns generally aren't in Arizona, there's just not enough room to keep all the animals inside. They have to rotate them in and out of the building every few hours, and you want to keep their blood circulation up so that they're able to stay warm. All right, and then this storm got particularly nasty. So they declared a state of emergency. I'm sure you could Wikipedia this, the history of the state of emergencies in Phoenix, Arizona, or just generally in Arizona. A lot of cattle were dying. And they called up this man Jim to fly around and direct other ranchers on what to do, because cattle were dying, and a lot of ranchers didn't know what to do, and that's interesting too. Um, it really shows like the difference between having good experience with ranching and just trying to wing it. So he had the ranchers break the ice in the pond so the cattle could drink. The cattle would die of thirst before they die of hunger. But also, hunger is very important to keep the energy up, to keep moving, to keep the circulation up, to keep warm. Yeah, get the cattle to huddle together closely. Um, Yeah, let's see. So it's it's a matter of just keeping them behind walls and shelters from the snow, uh, keeping the water flow going as best you can. Just letting them group in the huddles, and apparently these cattle instinctively travel south. And he suggested cutting the fences so that the animals could go south. And even if many different ranchers' cattle intermixed, it's better to let that happen than let them die. Um, so Yeah, that's an interesting strategy to save ranchers' cattle for the winter storm.